We want to be rock stars.
All right, we are live. We're live today, and we're talking trades. And today, I got even a special guest. I got extra guests today that I knew of. I have Alan and I have Ben, and today we're focusing on one of my favorite trades. And Alan and Ben probably don't know this, but it was actually the first trade I was attempting to get into through the Union Hall, but unfortunately at the time they weren't hiring, and thankfully not, because some of your work involves heights, and I'm not too good at heights, so thankfully we didn't go there. But Alan and Ben are both are experts in the field of elevating devices. I think the proper term, Alan, if I'm not correct, is the elevating device mechanic. Am I correct as saying that?
EDM stands for elevator device mechanic. That's correct.
That's correct. Okay, and I'm just wondering, as a trade, does this trade have an apprenticeship to get certified and licensed?
It does. It's the typical 4-year pattern. And you need the 3 segments in school of 8 weeks each segment. Sometimes the guys, especially from away, group them together, so they do 6 months back to back. But they have an option to come in 8 weeks at a time. So it depends on the finances and so on.
And I'm just wondering, because when I first thought about elevating devices back in the day, I just thought of elevators. I know there's more than elevators to it, but what all things do you fix that fall under that category of that license?
I think Ben probably could answer that, because Ben has a company as well, so he covers a lot of that.
Yeah, so under our elevating device mechanic, you have like elevators, like the normal elevators everyone rides. You also have freight elevators. So they're the same type of thing, only they're for moving heavy freight type objects. And then we have stuff like dumbwaiters, which will be a 1x1 square meter platform that's just for material. So think of like in a commercial kitchen where you want to move food from one floor to the next type thing. We also have escalators that's covered under that license. We have construction hoists. We have man lifts. So, any type of elevating device for the most part is covered under our license. The only thing that we can't do is passenger ropeways, because that's covered under the ski lift mechanic license. But besides that, we're the people to go to for any type of elevating device.
And I'm just wondering if you guys could tell me too, because I was just thinking about the other day, and I know talking to Alan the other day too. There's a lot to being an elevating device mechanic. It's not a lot of things that I didn't think of. I'm just wondering what kind of skills, what kind of stuff would a typical person who is going into that field have to learn that maybe that some of us wouldn't even think about.
I'm going to give him Bill Rogan's. And a friend of ours, Bill Rogan, always says, if you're hiring somebody for the elevator industry, get yourself a farmer's kid, because they can fix anything with a piece of wire. So they keep a farm operating. And having said that, then that sort of segues right into auto mechanic, millwright, people that like doing that kind of work. That's the sort of typical person that the aptitude would make people that do that be very happy in our trade.
Yeah, and it just I was wondering too, because I know we were talking there also the other day. I was aware of it. I didn't mention off the top, but all of us are professors teach at Durham College in Whitby, Ontario, and I only discovered, I don't know if it was for you, Alan, or through somebody else, that discovered that. Is it true that we're one of the only training facility that does the training for such people, such a skilled trade in Ontario?
Yeah, I'll take that. And the fact is that Durham College was the very first college that the independent elevator contractors went to have a college. We did have our own college one time. There was 4 of us that started and ran a college. And when the expense was so high, we went to the ministry, and the ministry are the ones that actually agreed to put it into a trade. So it's a voluntary trade. It's not a enforced trade. It's a voluntary trade. but now everybody in Ontario has to have that trade ticket. And so Durham College was the first when we decided to shut ours down, and we were searching for somebody to marry up with. Durham met all the criteria. There were two others in the running, but there was the Mohawk and George Brown, and both of those didn't quite meet the criteria that we were looking for. So Durham has been in it since '02, I guess, maybe '03. But there is another college now that has picked up the program and sort of copied ours, and that's Mohawk in Hamilton. So there are two now, but of course we are the historical base.
And then just wondering, but based on both you, maybe Ben with having his own company, could give us a snapshot. What kind of because I'm especially the young people out there as they're starting to think about what kind of pathway to go on, and maybe this is a thing that might interest them. I'm just wondering, just give them a kind of a ballpark idea, like how much they would make and how demand would you say overall the elevator mechanic field is at the moment.
So it's a very high demand trade right now, especially with some of the older generation now starting to retire. So it's very high in demand, and depending on how many hours you get, but you're looking to go from a first year apprentice to having your license in 4 to 6 years, and then once you're a fully licensed mechanic, you're going to be making around $100,000 to $120,000 a year. Roughly depends on who you exactly work for, but that's a mark for what your salary will be, and you'll progress up to that over your 4 to 6 years of your apprenticeship.
And what would you guys say is the? I know you were talking Al before about the old saying about being being a farm, being working, been living on a farm, and all those being able to do multiple things. Like, what could you describe in a little more detail? What kind of stuff is involved? Let's say we're putting an elevator in. Let's say just a regular elevator in a building. What kind of stuff would the person expect to do? Just on a general. I know there's a lot of stuff you probably have to do, but
well, we have it depends on the type of elevator they're installing at the time. Hydraulic elevator, of course, then they're into piping and hydraulics, and there's hoisting and assembly. Everything has to be assembled. The big parts that come out that you don't have to assemble are usually the motor, and in the case of the hydraulic, it would be the tank with the motor in it. The rest of it, you're going to have to install it bit by bit. So a traction elevator, you're going to be installing the machines, and you have to know about alignments, and there's a lot of electrical involved. There's a lot of mechanical involved, a lot of making things on site. So you have to be creative. And going back to what Ben was saying about the income, somebody that is creative and then becomes an asset to a company, they're going to make money fast, even before their license is fully completed. The other thing was the 2-year program that done. It does complete the apprenticeship program as far as the school hours go. And with that diploma, people can travel through North America quite easily with that as an offer to anybody, the prospective employer. And they can go into sales, they can go into consulting, they can go into government agencies as inspectors. So the area that the license or the certificate coming out of the college for that 2-year program, it just opens that a very large door. It's not just mechanic, it's the whole industry. I'll be looking at it and excited to get you to have it.
And you were saying, am I correct? It's the program now, as I just put out there on the screen there, link to the program that Alan's talking about that's offered at Durham College. It's a fairly high demand, if I remember correctly, if you were saying the other day too. It's I guess I guess it goes hand in hand with the demand of the industry.
Yes, it is, and I'll let Ben speak on that because he's all of the people coming in, and what I said to you was that the caliber of student that's coming in now is pretty high because the demand is so high that they take the cream, I guess, and bring them in. And sort of supported that.
Yeah, as far as I know, every year our program is full up and there's a wait list. It's definitely a very good program. Everyone wants to get in it because after that, like Alan was saying, it's not just a mechanic job. It opens the door to all sorts of different careers. If you want more of like an office job because you're more of a people person and maybe mechanical knowledge isn't your strong point, it will allow you to, springboard into that type of role that might, but so it's, Alan made a very good point. It's not just mechanics that can come out of this. It can open up a whole bunch of different things. So it's a very in-demand set of skills.
And how is the? I guess I've spoke to industry. How are they receiving it there, guys? How are they receiving the program? Very well, or
excitedly?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
very, very excited about it. Yes.
Yeah, my company has hired a couple of graduates from the program, and they're by far the best helper, like apprentice level that I've ever. If I had a choice between just hiring someone who thinks they're going to be good in the trade off the street or a graduate from the Durham program, every time I'm going to pick the person from the program because they have a baseline of knowledge that you don't get off of just some person off the street type thing. So it's a very good marriage of skills with the program.
And you just like us and the plumbing department at Durham College, you're moving over to the new facility, or almost maybe done. I don't know. I can't remember. You said you were done there the other day, Alan. But what kind of exciting stuff can we look forward? Can a student look forward if they were coming to the program in the new building? Has some things changed, or as compared to the older site within the older building?
I think the quick answer is space.
More space, yeah.
Yeah, we're not on concrete, and we do have the areas broken out so that we're not having to move equipment to get into the next piece of training. The training will take 4 quadrants, and the way it's set up and the equipment that we have for training is very, very. I guess it's the best out there. We've tried to make it fun. We have things that are coming into the industry and we have them advanced. One of the items I mentioned that there will be the vector drive, turbo voltage drive for hydraulic, the energy savings through that and so on. So we have that as a training section, and that will explode in the world of elevators within the next 5 years. But we're on the leading edge, so our guys will be coming fast.
Yeah, like the students get hands-on time with actual parts that they will find, like our hydraulic simulators. These are the exact same valves that you're going to find on a hydraulic elevator. We have rail simulators for like setting up and aligning the rails that the elevator is going to ride on. They're elevator rails. We have a hydraulic elevator that's been installed and a traction elevator that's been installed. So the students will get to see the exact type of equipment that might work with in the field, not something that's close. It is the real deal.
And we have an escalator, so I better throw that in.
Yeah, the good old escalator. That's one of my favorite modes of transportation that you guys put in.
Yeah.
Especially when you're at the airport and you have a long flight and you got to go through customs up and down. I'm always thankful that the escalators are there. I just want to wrap with just maybe if you guys could just share a tidbit from your experience. Are there something very exciting or a unique project that you worked on, or something that you personally find that you found exciting about the industry? That's why that you've enjoyed being in the industry.
Yeah, I think the one thing that Durham and I have been pulled up as a piece of pride is the women's program that we ran, and we had the 12 graduates come out of the 20 people, and out of those 12, 7 of them are directly in the industry. 2 of them are elevator mechanics, technicians and very good at that. And the other ones are in the business side. Other things inside. But one went to a escalator handrail manufacturer and continued learning. So up through that company as well. So that's a real pride for us that we ran that program. Now Ben's in, we're getting more women coming through, so we don't need to run an independent or separate program for women. Yeah, that's a pride note.
Okay, that's awesome. Thanks. Well, guys, thanks for taking a little bit of your time of the day. I know you're going off to check out the new building there on campus, and I appreciate taking a few minutes to talk to us and sharing a little bit of your experience, a little bit of knowledge. And so I hope everybody's listening out there gets a chance to, this is what this is about, discovering a little bit about more than just the other pathways to university and college, which are also good pathways, but there's some skilled trades out here and some unique ones like the elevating devices that who knows, maybe one day, maybe I can hop along and tag along and learn a little more about, come over to your shop one day, Alan, and learn a little bit more about what you guys do. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Ed, we're fussy about our helpers. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, you might not. Yeah, a plumber might just not cut it, I guess, right? we're not as versatile, I guess, as probably you guys are. So
I don't know. I've seen those stuff you guys do. It's pretty.
But anyways, thanks again. Thanks, Ben, and thanks, Alan, for jumping on. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Ed.
All right, thanks.
Excellent.